So, you've been eagerly awaiting and excited, maybe even, to get into and play some Escape from Tarkov Arena. You watched the tournament at DreamHack this past weekend and got to see teams battle it out in new maps with interesting, unique loadouts and weapons that you're familiar with, but excited to try in a fast-paced, first-person shooter competitive atmosphere. But you haven't quite gotten in. Well, that sucks for you. Just kidding, I'm there too. So this is being recorded the evening of the 17th here in the United States. We've had a good, I don't know, coming up on 16 hours, 12 hours since this thing has released, and it's been interesting. There are multiple sides to this story, and I'm just going to cover a couple of key points. I'm going to share some information that I've been able to glean through taking some time today and watching some other folks get a chance to actually jump in and play it, and then just share essentially my opinion on how this is going. You're clicking on this video for one of two reasons, most likely. You're probably in the same boat where you don't have access yet, you're waiting. You've purchased the game, or he had EOD for a period of time and were thinking that we were going to be part, or you, me included, may have been part of the initial wave or waves that have already gone out, or you had the opportunity to play and are coming here to write in the comments to stop crying and whatever the case may be with that. Either way, this video isn't intended to do anything but just share a little bit of my opinion and then talk about this as well. So a couple of things up front that I want to say. I'm disappointed. I am, as are many people, disappointed that it got released in a beta form, which is just like a separate maybe video in and of itself. But a lot of people are upset, and at varying levels of being upset. I think it's easy to hear some of the really loud folks that are really upset. It's easy for the folks that are just saying, hey, I'm just kind of disappointed, excited to play, understand that, certain things have to happen to allow the game to, roll out the way that it is. And then there's folks that obviously have been able to get in. And here's the thing, if you've had the opportunity to get in and play the game, that's awesome. I couldn't be happier for you. I hope you have a ton of fun. I hope you really, truly, I hope you're a good teammate to the folks that you end up getting to play with that get the game a day, a week, or some time from now. This first wave of folks I anticipate is going to continue to increase. It's going to continue to roll out. We've seen that over the course of today. So if you're wondering what the future of the rollout is, we've gotten nothing. We've gotten very little communication. That is one of the main complaints, and the purpose of this video is just to highlight. They say the game releases. There's a lot of people that are not on social media that might have been watching the Twitch stream and the tournament or whatever the case may be, and when you hear it's released, that seems like it's ready. That seems like you go pick your copy up, or you're going to get your key, you're going to get your access, you're going to be able to download, and you're going to subsequently be able to play. They had, obviously, Nikita had talked about how it's going to come out in waves in Tarkov TV, the streams that they have done previously, but not everybody's up to speed on that. So it feels like, as with BSG, they go on this roller coaster ride of doing a good job with communication and then subsequently falling off a cliff. Now, I am not upset around the fact of trying to keep the date for this hidden and letting things happen. Here's the thing. If you've played this game and if you've dealt with battle state games at all for any period of time, any wipes or any updates, you know that they don't ever give out dates. They never give out a date unless it is for sure going to happen, and usually that's 24, maybe 36 hours in advance. They'll post some patch notes and they will say go. It's standard MO for them. The problem is, and the reason for that, I think, is at least a main reason, not probably the only reason, but a main reason is they have done that in the past. In the history of the game, the folks that have played this game for a long time, they used to announce wipe dates. They used to announce those things, and then the wipe would get pushed back or whatever the case, and they would get just as much heat as they do for not telling people when the game is out. There's no winning for them, and I'm not defending it at all. I just understand. I understand when they want to build some hype up. They could do themselves the service of giving like a range of dates, right? Put it within a week, I think would be a fair middle ground. But again, you're always going to have people that are going to be upset that they either didn't take the right day off, or they're busy that day, or the wipe got pushed for a few days. You're never going to win that. You're never going to win that. So for them, they just don't say anything until it's absolutely ready. Arena apparently was not quite in that shape, as they gave some creators and some other folks early access to the game, like a week or so, and people had the ability to play and play test it, which again is all fine. If you are against that, I've just got to say, I don't think I understand where the frustration comes from. I don't think that's super logical. It's the same thing where a lot of the streamers got access to Arena today. Here's the thing. If you're a business and you want to keep building hype up after DreamHack and after the tournament, you're going to do it with the people that are going to play your game and talk about how awesome it is. That's a business move. Purely that, if nothing else. Now, granted, there might be some relationship stuff and some background crap. Nobody cares. That doesn't matter. The core of it is you want people to be out there. You want people to be playing. It's great if you're me or you're you and you hang out with your buddies and you get an opportunity to play. And yes, you're going to tell your social network on Twitter and whatever the case may be that this game is fun and go pick it up. And hey, let's jump into it. That's important. Comparatively, on a scale perspective, from a business aspect, that's a smart move for them. So it is what it is. Lots of other games have done the same thing, and they're going to continue to do that because the influence that they can drive is important. So I don't really even care about that. It was cool. It was awesome, honestly, because I didn't get an opportunity to get in. I was happy that a handful of the folks that I do watch their streams from time to time were able to go in and play. I picked up some information. I got to see some of the things that they were doing. I got to learn a little bit, even without having my hands on it. If they didn't have access to it and I didn't have access to it, we'd be in a worse position than we are. So it is what it is from that perspective. And it wasn't all of them. That's the other thing. I know they all get grouped into a category, but it is what it is. So I'm past that. I just wish, my pure point here is, just wish we had better communication. I wish they would tell us how many people they were going to do in each wave. I would wish they would give us at least an idea of when the waves are going to happen, because what happened today is about an hour before the tournament was over, the initial emails went out, people got access to it. Then once the tournament ended, they were able to download it, and then subsequently people were able to start getting in. As you would imagine, there were some hiccups with that. Some streamers had access but couldn't download the game. Some for hours, actually. Some other folks were able to download it, and the download took a long time. There's a lot from that perspective that they have to work through. I'm sure the Battlestate Games team is just like busting their butts to try to make sure that this thing stays up and running. I will say, from the folks that I saw were able to download it and get in, matches seemed to match pretty quickly. They were getting in very fast. There didn't seem to be a whole ton of issues with that. There's obviously going to be some initial feedback on some things that need to change, class loadouts and stuff like that, balance. I heard that the announcer is like way too loud. So there's a few things that just with anything are going to need to be play tested by a large group of people to get some consensus. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise for a few of the folks, or a lot of the folks that probably did not get it. If you're in that boat and you want to play, there's nothing to say. There's lots of folks that are in that boat. If you are one of the lucky people and you're watching this video that had an opportunity to play, please also have a little bit of empathy and understand that people want to play the new thing. People are very, very excited. I personally am very excited for this. I'm also a little disappointed at this beta release. I'll talk about that here in the future in just a minute in terms of why, but just have a little bit of empathy, especially for some of you. Like, there's probably groups of people out there that 3 or 4 of you got it, or 2 or 3 of you got it, and your buddies did not. That's really shitty. You just want everybody to be able to get in the game, have fun, get matches, and start playing, and just enjoy it. That's what it's there for. That's what people paid for, and obviously for the EOD users like myself out there, that's obviously a perk. a small perk that you were hoping was going to come with this, which I also think is part of it. Right now, I don't think they ever said that. I don't think Nikita ever said that. I think that was a reasonable thing to believe that was going to happen, but it does not seem to be the case in terms of how this is rolling out. So waves of emails are going to continue to come out. They have given really no information, at least as of the recording of this, of what that's going to look like, and that's where they just need to do better. Tell us how many people they need to try to get in the game. Tell us that they're going to send waves of emails out at 5,000 people at a time, and it's going to happen over the next 7 days, right? 7 days we're going to have everybody in, or 3 days, or whatever it is. I think it's going to take about a week. That's just me personally with the way that this is rolling out. I know there's a ton of back-end stuff, right? There's a ton of back-end stuff that I personally don't even understand about how this game is going to get out there, right? They're worried about server load. They're worried about making sure that all that stuff doesn't get so bogged down that the people playing it, right? If they did a mass release, it's going to be like Wipe was. And this really hasn't happened in the last like 2 wipes or so, but 3, 4, 5 wipes ago, you try to get in on wipe day, you could literally not play this game. You could not. You couldn't start it. If you were lucky enough to get to the screen where you made your character, you get frozen up there, or servers were desync, or you'd get in, or you couldn't find a match. You'd sit there and wait for 20 minutes to get into a raid. Now, there's supposed to be a ton of technological things they've done on the back end. This is obviously different than Escape from Tarkov. So matchmaking system hopefully seems to be better. It truly seems to be better. Seems like folks are getting in matches very quick, which is awesome. You're able to get in, ready up, 20, 30 seconds is what I was seeing. But they also have to control that and make sure that it's received well so that people that are playing can get in and roll through that quickly. Again, and it seems like it has nothing to do with EOD status, time you've had it. I've seen reports of people buying the game, literally going and buying Arena today, and 50 minutes later, an hour later, getting the email to get the download and get it started. I don't suggest doing that if you're waiting on your free copy of it for those EOD users out there. So I expect that it's going to continue to churn out. Emails are going to continue to be sent out. It's going to it's just going to be kind of random in terms of when people get it. And I just hope that everybody gets an opportunity here pretty quickly to be able to play. A week seems like that's too long. I think you're going to lose a good portion of the player base that's excited. But at the same time, if I got it tomorrow or the next day, I'd be happy. It seems like a couple of things to note up front. A lot of folks are worried if they're not playing on day one, they're going to be behind. That's just not going to be true. There's going to be plenty of people that are day one that are the same rank, that are all going to be churning through the same stuff you are with a ranking system, and you can only play ranked from what I've seen for 2 of the modes, which is one of my biggest gripes. You're not going to be behind. Now, you may be behind somebody else that's going to be able to grind and be able to progress faster than you, but at the same token, you're not going to be behind for the group of people that you're playing with, at least within a relative bounds. You might run up to somebody that has a little bit of a better kit, that maybe had an extra little bit of time to play versus you, but that is what it is, especially if they're not great. But it seems like the progression system is all based on using a kit or set of kits, getting experience with that consistently to be able to then move on, getting wins and experience to be able to then move on to the next kits, and obviously grinding some money along the way. We'll have a more in-depth video once we get our hands on it and can play. But that's at least what it seems like from early impressions that I have. So don't be too concerned about being behind. Again, you're going to fit in. People are going to be playing with the same kits. It just is what it is. And the early kits all look like doo-doo water. They're just bad ammos, bad armors. TTK minus headshots seems to be pretty long, which is good. That should make for some fun, intense, interesting fights. And then, as things scale up and people get, weeks and months into it, then I think you'll see a bigger diversity of that. Speaking of things I'm disappointed with, 2 modes. You get let me just minimize this. You're going to get, I'm going to scroll here. You're going to get shootout and team fight. So team fight is 2 teams of 5. Victory, it actually seems like it's to 5 rounds instead of 7 rounds. That's at least what I've been seeing. The tournament was 7 rounds. This says 7, but it seems like 5 rounds is the win, and then you get the shootout. that's cool. I think a lot of people are very excited to play that. I know I am. Teamfight seems really fun, interesting, cool to be able to jump into. I personally really want to play Overrun, and I am super kind of disappointed already that it didn't release. It's not releasing with this first initial run of this, which is why I think it's so crazy that they're calling it a beta, which is totally fine. I'm not even going to get into that BSG Tarkov beta conversation because it's been beaten to death. I'm just excited to play this game mode, and I'm just very surprised that it's not coming out with this initial run. It seems like such an easy thing to drop 5 players into and send waves of things at them. I think they're probably still working to either tweak the AI, tweak the zone. I don't know what they're waiting to do here, but I am gonna be ecstatic when this mode comes out. You also don't have every map. I think you have Sawmill Bay, Air Pit, Equator, and we're missing Bowl, Box, and Resort. So you get 4 of the 7. I'm okay with that. But just as some initial heads up, that's what you're looking at when you are able to jump in. You're missing a handful of the maps. I'm okay with some maps coming later. That doesn't bother me. Kind of a good, sort of savvy-ish move on their part to trickle some of that out as it gets ready so they can do some consistent, hopefully quick updates with the game. Release hopefully some of these modes, Last Hero, Duel, and then quickly these other maps as well. So just sharing my thoughts here. Just sharing my thoughts. I'm super, super, super excited to play. I'm sure all of you are. I would love to hear your comments down below and your thoughts. I know people are at varying levels of salt about how this is rolling out, and I can't disagree with them on a lot of the points I've seen. It's just everybody has an idea in their mind of how it was supposed to roll out, and it didn't roll out anything like that. And I think that's really what's pissing a lot of people off. Some simple communication. Hey, everybody, we've got 2 million players to get into this game. Here's how we're going to do this. We believe the servers can initially handle 100,000 people at a time. We're going to do waves of 100,000. We're going to monitor their server progress and install progress because the game is taking, again, for some people, a long time to download. And we're going to do waves every 12 hours. I don't know, whatever, right? Because right now it feels like there's such a small group of people playing it, but that's only the people that are showing that gameplay off and streaming it or talking about it on Twitter or whatever the case may be. So it seems narrow, but it's probably not. There's probably tons of people that are in the game at this point already. We just have no preference or no idea or no semblance of what that is. And I think that's where they could have done better from a communication standpoint. The beautiful part here is hopefully everybody's in within a week. And within a week, we've forgotten about this, but we'll see if that's actually going to happen. I'm hopeful. I hope that you're able to get in. I hope you're able to get in quickly here, especially with the holidays coming up. I know me personally, got a few days off of work. I'm just going to try to enjoy some games, some time with family, presents, all that good stuff. And I would love to be able to just jump in and grind a little bit of Arena here. Just get used to it, play it, have some fun. It does look super exciting. It looks super fun. There's a few things, again, that seem like they need to be tweaked. But overall, I'm seeing really positive reactions from a lot of people playing, saying they're really enjoying it. That is a huge thumbs up. That's definitely a W for BSG. I thought the DreamHack tournament was pretty cool. Not without its difficulties, but for the first one, generally pretty neat, and saw some interesting gameplay there. So it's just unfortunate because so many people are excited to play it. And again, if you've had an opportunity to get in, drop it down below. Let us know what you think. And hopefully you didn't take too much negative from this video, but I'm just trying to, give a little bit of perspective and some thoughts. Really, this is just my thoughts about how I think this could have done better and how they could have, I think, communicated in a way that people would have just understand the strategy that they have to roll this game out. And like I said, I understand they want people that are in playing it to be able to actually play it. I have no issue with that. I'd be just as frustrated if I got in the first wave and yet could not download or could not play the game because there was such server traffic that it was just impossible. I'm fine with that. I am so fine with that. Just let us know what it's going to look like, and let us know when we may have a chance at getting into it, and let us know that there's actually a strategy around doing this instead of just winging it and hoping that they get enough people in quickly enough that they don't get so much backlash from being able to do that. So that's my thoughts. Let me know. Hopefully we're all playing Arena soon, and we don't even have to think about this anymore. But I'm excited. We'll be covering it on the channel, definitely jumping into some things. Like I said, I'm excited for some of the other game modes. Overrun, I'm super pumped for that. I think that has an opportunity to be a lot of fun with a group of friends, taking down bosses. Imagine just fighting like 5 killers at once. That would be wild and crazy. I think that's going to have some cool moments. I'm super excited for that. Team fight looks like a ton of fun. Even duel. I mean, some of these things, they look awesome. The concepts for them are really, really neat. And I think this is going to be a unique and extra awesome flair for lots of folks in the EFT space. And hopefully make some folks a little bit more confident in their PvP and level up the game a little bit from that perspective in actual EFT. We are still waiting on an regular Escape from Tarkov wipe. That should be coming. I expect that we're probably going to see that post-Christmas or maybe even into the new year. Maybe in that in-between time frame. That is pretty typical for them. At least they've done that a handful of times in the past. But last note on that, whatever anybody thinks the date is going to be, they're probably fucking wrong. So just wait. It's coming. They'll tell you when it's going to wipe. I promise. I promise. The people that think they decode it, just like they thought they decoded Arena release date, 99% of them were wrong. A lot of people were saying, hey, after DreamHack. That would have been my guess. That would have been my guess because that makes the most sense of when to push the button. But at the same time, there was also people playing the game before we even knew it. So it just, that's all I'm going to say on that perspective. Just wait for it. Be patient. Wipe will happen. You probably won't care because hopefully we're all playing Arena by then. But it is what it is. So I'm going to flash some socials, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for all the support. We do hardcore. If you're stopping into this video for whatever reason, it gets good traction and people watch it. We do a hardcore series. We do that. We're on our 5th or 6th season of that. We do a solo standard account playthrough as well. Post a couple of videos a week on those series. So if you're interested, take a look. Give them a watch. One will probably go up here later after this video goes live. So, stop back in. We'd love to see you. We think they're really fun. I think they're really fun. They're good series. If you like hardcore, if you like Tarkov, if you're new and you want to learn some strategies and some skills, our solo standard playthrough is actually a really, really good, hopeful guide. And we get some cool moments as well. We're not great at the game. We're not terrible either every once in a while. So check them out. We'd appreciate it. I've been Doc, Average Gamer, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Hopefully, you're in Arena soon. Peace.